The modern economy is all about convenience. According to the almighty tech gods, the ones we worship here in the USA, our bold and fearless leaders. According to those guys, life is better the more efficient things become, the faster we can go, and the more convenient we make everything. But the question is, ladies and gentlemen, better for whom? Well, for the almighty tech gods, it's great. They have more wealth, more luxury, and more power than ever. But for us everyday folk, we the people, we are more stressed out, more broke, and more isolated than ever. Convenience doesn't improve our lives as much as the almighty tech gods are trying to convince us it does. And in this video, I want to talk about 20 modern conveniences that you are better off without. 1. The news. The news went from either this thing that you would read 30 minutes in the morning or watch for 30 minutes in the evening, to this 24-hour phenomenon that thrives on negativity, sensationalism, confirmation bias, and hidden agendas. Who owns today's media? Well, Mark Zuckerberg owns Meta, Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, Elon Musk owns Twitter, and 6 soulless corporations own everything else. Here in the good old USA, we call that freedom of speech, First Amendment. And call me a communist, but something tells me that these billionaires and soulless corporations own the media, not to promote free speech, but to promote their own hidden agendas that turn us poor everyday folk against each other so that they have more for them and less for you. News is not news, but it is greedy hidden agendas that you are better off without. 2. Social media. I think we can all agree at this point that social media does not make our lives better. In the beginning it kind of did, because it connected us with friends and let us see how their lives are going. However, now it just creates envy, can cause you to run into financial problems trying to keep up with the Joneses, and creates addictive behavior. In the beginning, social media was this cute thing that connected all of us, but now it is this manipulated profit engine that is full of toxicity and misinformation that is a plague on our society. 3. Slack and Teams on your personal phone. Many companies nowadays communicate through Slack and Microsoft Teams. However, the problem is many people have these apps on their personal phone, which makes them available for communication 24/7, 365. And when you have these apps on your phone, you can never get away from work. You're better off not having them on your personal phone, but if you have to have them on your personal phone, it's very important to establish boundaries and don't work outside of working hours. 4. Phone notifications. In addition to not allowing your work to have 24/7 access to you, it's important to not really allow anybody to have that much access to you through notifications, like apps, emails, and social media. It makes you a lot more distracted and anxious throughout the day, and you are much better off just having phone and text notifications on your phone. 5. Smartwatches. As if phones weren't already unhealthy enough, smartwatches are a much more intensified version of your phone, having your wrist vibrate every 5 minutes, with notifications that make you more distracted, more anxious, and more stressed. I have a friend who has a smartwatch, and it stresses me out looking him read updates every single 5 minutes. You're much better off just having your phone ruin your life. 6. Fitness and health trackers. Now, let me put in this disclaimer if you have health problems. A fitness tracker might improve your life if you have health problems. In fact, a fitness tracker saved my uncle's life when he was about to have a heart attack, telling him he needed to go to the hospital. However, most people do not need real-time data of their heart rate, steps, and sleeping patterns, Because when people have this much real-time information of their health, it often creates this obsessive behavior where they view themselves like pieces of data, like this guy.
My name is Brian Johnson. I've been spending millions of dollars creating an anti-aging protocol.
You are a human being, not a collection of data. And if you have good diet and exercise and are generally healthy, you're probably better off not tracking every step you take. Next, smart home assistants. Another smart device that you are probably better off without are these smart home assistants like Alexa and Google Home, because they can cause you to spend more money, give big tech companies more access to your home, and even have privacy concerns. The big tech bros already have enough data on you. Don't give them any more. 8. Cloud storage. Another thing that big tech companies have created that you are probably better off without is cloud storage that is often very cheap, like Apple's cloud storage costing 99 cents a month for 50 gigabytes. It's an unnecessary recurring expense. It's better just have an external hard drive so you just pay once, and you should never pay big tech companies to scan your data so that they can build their AI. They should be paying you. 9. Tablets for kids. So I do not have kids, but I do have nieces and a nephew. So I think that I am in the know with the younger generation, or as I like to call them, the tablet generation, who were born with a tablet in their hands. And I get why parents give their kids tablets, because kids are not like us adults, but kids are annoying. And giving them a tablet is sometimes the only way to get them to shut up. I may not be a parent, but I understand that parenting practice. However, I think in the long term, this is going to create a lot of problems for the younger generation, like addiction and dependency, less social development, and exposure to inappropriate content. It's hard not to give kids tablets because they all have tablets, but I think that 10 years down the road, this is going to create a lot of problems for this generation. I feel very sorry for them. I think they are much better without tablets. 10. Temu and Shien. Now, Temu and Shien sell extremely low quality products at extremely low prices and have gamified shopping. You're not buying things for utility, but you're buying things for the thrill of buying things. And you're much better off not buying this low quality garbage from Temu and Shien. 11. Amazon. Now, compared to Temu and Shien, Amazon is not as bad. I mean, it is a much bigger marketplace where you can find things that you can't always find in stores. However, I think that you should limit how much you buy on Amazon because it makes you more intentional with your spending. It gets you out of the house, and you're not supporting one company having complete market control. You don't need to ditch Amazon 100%, but I think that you are better off limiting how much you use it and shop more in person. 12. Amazon Prime. Now, speaking of Amazon, Amazon Prime is extremely convenient as it allows you to order from the comfort of your own home and has extremely fast shipping. However, this convenience costs $139 a year. And this convenience is completely unnecessary as 1, Amazon has free shipping for orders over $35, but also 2, when things are too convenient, you end up spending more. You're better off doing most of your shopping in person because you're more likely to spend less money and it gets you out of the house. 13, one-click checkout. One-click checkout is a convenient tool in online shopping that allows you to purchase something with a single click, as your card information is already saved in the system. But although it's more convenient, it takes away that feeling that you're actually spending money, causing you to spend more. 14. Credit cards. Credit cards do have benefits like cashback, rewards, and help you build credit. However, they also have a lot of cons, sometimes having annual fees. You're more tempted to take on debt, and they have high interest rates. Most people do not have the self-control to pay off their credit card balance every month and not accumulate interest, but instead most people let their credit card balance build up and end up having to pay a lot of debt and a lot of interest. Most people are better off avoiding the temptations of credit cards and just paying in cash or with a debit card. Next, buy now, pay later. The newest form of credit are these buy now, pay later services like Afterpay, Klarna, and Affirm that allow you to borrow money on low-ticket items like a pair of jeans and pay it off with interest-free monthly payments. And although they're interest-free payments, you are much better off without it, because if you can't afford something right now, you're probably not going to be able to afford it in the future, and you're probably going to be forced to take on debt in other areas of your life. 16. Google and Apple Pay. Another convenient form of spending are these digital forms of payments like Google and Apple Pay, where your credit card is on your phone and you can pay with just a tap of your phone. And although they are more convenient, it takes away that feeling that you're actually spending money, even more so than a debit or credit card, which can cause you to spend more money because you don't think that you're spending money, and you're better off without it. Next, sports betting apps. Sports betting apps like FanDuel, DraftKings, and BetMGM have made gambling more convenient than ever, allowing people to make bets on every aspect of the game. It's so convenient, it's like having a casino in your pocket, and these have proven to be extremely popular. I mean, in the recent Super Bowl, over $1.39 billion was bet. Insane. And although some people might win, in the long term, the house is the only one that wins, and everyone else loses money, runs into financial problems, and it becomes an addiction. You're much better off avoiding the convenience of sports betting because in the end, it ultimately becomes this addiction that ruins your life. 18. Food delivery. In the modern world, not only do we not have the time to make our own food, but we don't even have the time to pick up our prepared food. And so we use an app to get someone else to pick up our food for us, which drastically increases the price of the food. Because the menu prices are more, the app charges a fee, and we have to tip the driver, possibly doubling the cost of food. If you're too busy to pick up your prepared food, I think it's time to take a look in the mirror and start questioning your life's decisions because no one should be that busy. 19. Giant houses. Here in the United States, the average size of a house is ridiculously big. And bigger houses mean more stuff, more maintenance, and more responsibility. However, it can be hard to find a small house. However, you are much better off in a smaller house that you do not have any wasted space. Because when you have all this extra wasted space, you end up having so many responsibilities and end up accumulating a bunch of unnecessary things in rooms that you never go in. And the final modern convenience that you are better off without with is all future tech scams. Now, let me end this saying that tech is not evil and it has helped solve many problems in the world. However, with many tech, when it tries to solve one problem, it creates 100 new problems. Although tech has made our lives better in many ways, it's also made us more stressed, anxious, broke, and isolated. In going forward, I think it is important to strive for a more simple life and reject all this bullshit that future tech will create because convenience doesn't really improve our lives as much as they tell us it does, and we are much better off without it, living a simpler life. And with that, muchas gracias, que tengan un buen día, nos vemos chicos.